Mercedes collapsing after Lewis Hamilton's shocking statement. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Lewis Hamilton blames Mercedes car for stunning decision. Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton has revealed the reason for a shocking decision he made at the Japanese Grand Prix. The 7-time world champion has endured a poor start to the 2024 season, sitting down in 9th in the Drivers' Championship, having not managed to pick up a result better than 7th in the opening 4 races. His teammate George Russell, on the other hand, has beaten Hamilton in the 3 races that they have both finished in and has outqualified the 39-year-old at 3 of the first 4 events. He sits 14 points above Hamilton, who has been accused of mentally checking out this season due to his upcoming switch to the Ferrari team for 2025. During the Japanese GP, an unusual situation occurred when Hamilton asked his Mercedes team if they wanted him to let Russell through, as the 26-year-old was faster than Hamilton throughout the lap. The 2 drivers were switched in, arguably the most polite team orders seen given for a long time in F1, allowing Russell to go on and claim a 7th-place finish while Hamilton remained in 9th. Now, Hamilton has revealed the reason why he was so accommodating of his British teammate. "I think I picked up a bit of damage at the beginning with Charles. He came around the outside," he told Sky Sports after the race. "I had huge understeer for the first stint. I couldn't turn the car through any of the corners. That's why I let George by." Lewis Hamilton has admitted he is unsure if Mercedes will allow him to start work with Ferrari before the F1 2025 season, insisting all his energy is focused on helping his current team get back to the top. Hamilton's long and successful association with Mercedes will come to an end at the close of this season after the 7-time world champion announced in February that he will join Ferrari for 2025. The announcement rocked the F1 world, coming just 5 months after Hamilton had signed a new 2-year contract with Mercedes until the end of 2025. With his move to Ferrari confirmed so early in the year, Hamilton faces the unusual prospect of having to spend the entire 2024 season at Mercedes in the knowledge that team and driver will soon part ways. Speaking to media, including PlanetF1.com's Thomas Maher, the morning after Hamilton's bombshell, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff admitted 2024 could present some challenging situations as the team aimed to prevent Hamilton taking intimate secrets to his new employers. "It is not uncommon for drivers to be released early from their existing contracts ahead of big winter moves, with Hamilton's former title rival Sebastian Vettel freed from his Red Bull deal to test for Ferrari at Fiorano in November 2014. 2 months before he officially joined the Scuderia. Hamilton, whose only previous career switch came when he swapped McLaren for Mercedes at the beginning of 2013, does not know if he will be allowed to do the same. According to German publication Motorsport.com, he said, "I think it will start with a conversation with Toto because I don't know how to navigate that. I don't think I was at Mercedes until December 2012 when the first seat fitting was made after the season. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it this time." Hamilton was caught snapping at a reporter for asking about his impending switch to Ferrari after a challenging Japanese Grand Prix, where he slumped to a distant 9th on race day to continue his worst-ever start to an F1 season. The 39-year-old is adamant that he wants to end on a high with Mercedes in 2024, claiming talk about life at Ferrari could prove a distraction. He explained, "Right now, I want to finish on a high. All my energy is going into that. Of course, I'm looking forward to the future, but we're currently in a difficult situation, and that's my challenge. That's where all my energy is going, to find out how we can get back to the top. How can I work with the boys? Can I give better debriefs? Can I give better direction? I'm a competitive guy first and foremost, so I want to win. Thinking about next year doesn't help me with that." The second story is George Russell exposes previously undisclosed problem with Mercedes W15 as Formula One struggles persist in 2024. The 2024 Formula One Championship isn't going as well as Mercedes had hoped. Their updated W15 car isn't delivering the expected lap times. George Russell talked about facing difficulties, especially when following other cars. He mentioned that even his helmet was getting buffeted due to the turbulence created by the vehicle ahead. "This has been a recurring issue this year," Russell said. In practice and qualifying, helmet problems weren't there, but during the race, with all the turbulence and cars around, there are a lot of buffeting and struggles in this aspect. Cars are harder to follow now compared to before. F1 had hoped to solve this problem with the 2022 regulations, but it persists. Mercedes's James Allison acknowledged that while F1 hadn't necessarily failed, there were aspects of the regulations that weren't helpful. Although there weren't significant technical changes in this year's rules, dealing with turbulence seems to be a bigger challenge for following cars this season. Pirelli's Mario Isola stressed the importance of the trailing car being able to overtake and get ahead of rivals quickly. He noted that due to the new aero packages developed by teams, following cars experience turbulence, resulting in loss of downforce. This affects performance, especially on fast and flowing tracks like the Japanese GP. Russell's best result so far in the 2024 F1 Championship is 5th place, and Mercedes currently sits at 34 points in the Constructors' Championship, trailing Red Bull by 107 points. The success of Mercedes-AMG F1 has been remarkable since the team was acquired from Braun GP in 2009. 8 consecutive Constructor Championships combined with 7 driver titles for Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg placed the Brackley-based team front and center in the sport of Formula One. Yet the fall from grace for the Silver Arrows has been spectacular, with certain experienced paddock commentators recently comparing it to the beginning of the end for the once all-conquering Williams team, or even McLaren. Of course, Mercedes are never going to be back of the grid material in the way Williams became established there, if not only because of the high level of infrastructure and investment into the team over the years. There is, however, no argument that Mercedes' W15 creation has fallen behind. Both Ferrari and McLaren offerings and results to date this year suggests an Aston Martin in the hands of Fernando Alonso is also quicker than the Mercedes car. Toto Wolff does his best each F1 weekend to face up to the media and claim the team is busting a nut to improve the characteristics of the W15, but the evidence of progress issuant from the on-track data. Technical Director James Allison recently admitted there are characteristics of their 2024 Challenger which makes no sense, and Wolff himself has stated on more than one occasion this year that his engineers are tackling a physics problem rather than anything else. The simulation tools at Brackley have not been giving the team a proper heads up on what they face when they arrive at a circuit, which almost definitely means the W15 is mechanically flawed rather than suffering from poor aerodynamic design. With Mercedes now so far behind the 8-ball, whispers have emerged the team may abandon its efforts under the current F1 car design rules and begin to focus on the challenges of the 2026 big regulation change. Of course, this is not allowed under FIA regulations, as teams must not begin any wind tunnel work for 2026 before January 2025. The third story is Fernando Alonso loses interest in being Lewis Hamilton's successor. Fernando Alonso is currently the talk of the town, as he is the only world champion currently available in the driver market to sign for 2025 and beyond. In the recent past, the Spaniard has been linked with both Red Bull and Mercedes. While the seat at Red Bull may still seem attractive to Alonso, the 42-year-old seems to have lost interest in replacing Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes because of where the Silver Arrows find themselves at the moment. When asked if he would want to move to teams higher up on the grid, the Spaniard replied, "That's a very good question." Following this, he took a direct jibe at the Silver Arrows, who are struggling at the moment. As per the race, he said, "Mercedes is behind us, so it doesn't feel that attractive." Amid all the rumors that Alonso is evaluating his options about which side to join in 2025, there is a huge chance that he could even stay at Aston Martin beyond 2024 after he was happy with the way the Silverstone-based outfit performed at the Japanese Grand Prix. "I think it was my best weekend in recent times, inside the top 5 ever for me. P5 in qualifying that lap, and P6 today in the race is completely out of position," he explained. Alonso then added that he is very proud of Aston Martin as a result. He believes they are the 5th fastest side and will challenge Mercedes for 4th during the rest of the season. Fernando Alonso is still to sign an extension with Aston Martin beyond the 2024 season. The team seem ready to offer him an extension, as they want to see the Spaniard lead the side even in 2025. Pedro de la Rosa, the ambassador for the British team, does not believe the team will want Alonso to depart. He knows the importance of having the 32-time GP winner in the team to lead them forward amid the ongoing, underwhelming performances of the Spaniard's teammate, Lance Stroll. De La Rosa believes that Aston Martin are doing everything in their potential to convince Alonso to stay. The team is trying their best to develop a competitive car that is likely to help the Spaniard fight for higher point-scoring finishes in the future. While Alonso seems happy with Aston Martin's progress at the moment, he could decide to leave the team if Red Bull decides to part ways with Sergio Perez and approaches him. An opportunity at Red Bull is likely to convince any driver to join them, considering how the Milton Keynes-based outfit have dominated the last few seasons. Mercedes chief Toto Wolff will reportedly not bring Sebastian Vettel out of retirement to replace Lewis Hamilton in 2025.